Well, good morning. This starts the second part of my trip, the Leavenworth Stevens Pass area. Last night I got into Bothell to relatives, reset, took a shower after not showering for about 4 days, did laundry, and then this morning I got up pretty early, but I didn't head out until around 8. I'm driving now along US Route 2, and I was driving over a bridge and I saw the Skycomish River, and there was actually a access point. So that's what you see in the background, and then the bridge is US 2. Okay, I made it to the Nordic Center at Stevens Pass. What you're looking at right now is a groomed trail for the cross-country skiers. From what I've seen so far, the Nordic Center seems geared more towards cross-country skiers. The one trail that I went on to didn't seem well marked. And just in general, I haven't been too impressed with the Nordic Center. The lodge wasn't actually open today. So I'm up here on the Forest Service road leading to the Smitherbrook trailhead. I'm maybe 3/4 of the way up. I don't have my snowshoes, so it's a little bit hard going, but I mean, you can go either way on this kind of surface, given how compacted it is. Good morning. I'm at the turnoff to the Forest Service road, which leads to the Smithbrook trailhead once again. I'm kitted out, and I think we'll be able to make it, maybe even make it a little bit on the trail. We'll see. My ultimate goal will be to make it to the Pacific Crest Trail. There's a connection there. So last night, got into Leavenworth, checked into my hotel, walked to the downtown area a little bit. I'll film that tonight or tomorrow morning. Went to a traditional German restaurant, had some schnitzel, some German beer. It was a good time. Quick update. So I found a spot near the Smitherbrook Trail where people either this is where the actual trail started was and not at the parking lot, or people have started forging their own trail. It's a little complicated because we have snowmobile tracks and we also have snowshoer tracks. Sometimes they combine, sometimes they split apart, sometimes there's multiple snowmobile tracks. So I think the plan now is to try to stick as much as possible with the snowshoeing tracks. So right here, what you're looking at looks like a recent avalanche. It might not seem like much, but there's a lot of snow in there. I've been going for about 3 hours now. I'm still on a track that someone had snowshoed in, but it looks like maybe only 1 or 2 people have taken this track. So I just feel like at this point I need to turn around. I'd hope to get some spectacular views from a ridge line or something like that, which I'm not really that far away. Once I spin around, you might be able to tell. It's just hard to see everything because of the amount of trees. So not that far, maybe 500 feet is a ridge line, maybe not even that, but getting to that would be too dangerous and would probably take me at least 30-45 minutes. Might not seem like it's that far, but given the amount of snow and the terrain, it would just take that long. So I'm going to turn around. There's a couple of good spots that I didn't film at, which I'll get on the way back. So I want to talk about a few things that I didn't talk about on my spot where I turned around. And right now is a good opportunity to talk about it because we could see a ridgeline off in the distance. And some people might be concerned about, you know, you're in the backcountry. It's not a well-marked trail. But there's this thing called terrain association. And right here, looking at that ridge, it's relatively easy to terrain associate. I know when I was on the road, and believe it or not, I can actually see the road. You guys won't be able to tell where it is. I know that the road that I'm on is below that ridge line. So as long as I start walking towards that ridge line, I will eventually run into that road. But again, it's well packed down between the snowmobilers and the snowshoers. The other thing that I wanted to talk about specifically today and why I turned around so when I did is that the sun is out, which is creating the situation where the top of the snow is really soft. So even though my snowshoes have spikes on them, sometimes it takes a moment to dig in. And so whether it's going uphill or downhill, well, specifically downhill is where the bigger concern is, because there's potential of just sliding down the hill, you know, a couple 100 feet and seriously injuring yourself. All right, I made it back to the Forest Service Road, grabbed a little snack, put on some more sunscreen, and then head back to the truck. I expect to take about an hour and a half. It's now 1 o'clock, so about 2:30, maybe 3 o'clock, we'll be back on the road. It's around 2:45. I made it back. I started out at 9, so I was out on the trail about 6 hours. I'm gonna head up to the ski area where there's a little bit of cell service. I want to look at a map and see about one spot that's in the area. I'm not going to do any more snowshoeing today. Mostly it's just going to be sitting either in the vehicle or by the side of the road. I'm exhausted. I'm at the Cascade Tunnel, and this is more for our rail fans. And for those who don't know about the Cascade Tunnel, definitely check it out. But just to kind of give you a little bit of a idea about the Cascade Tunnel, it is one of the longest tunnels in the world at 7.8 miles, and also one of the highest in elevation in the world at about 2,200 feet. That might not seem like much, but for a rail tunnel, that's pretty high. Because of the terrain, it has to have unique operations to vent it. The terrain prohibits vents throughout the length of the tunnel. So right now, we're on the west end of the tunnel, and on the east end of the tunnel, there is a door that opens and closes depending on whether a train's passed through or is about to pass through. So after the train passes through, the door closes, and there are massive vents that push the CO2 and other pollutants out this west end of the tunnel, which we're at right now. The fans will run for approximately 20 minutes, if I understand it right. And then after that, another train can go through the tunnel. So I had just caught a train going through the tunnel when I got up here. So it may or may not be possible to catch another train coming in, whether it's going east or west. But it could be as much as 20, 30 minutes before another train passes through. Well, good morning. So this morning I headed up Icicle Road, see how far I could go. And right now, if I'm not mistaken, I'm on the 8 Mile Road, just based off of the previous times that I've been out here. I didn't think that I would actually be able to make it this far. I figured that the road wouldn't have been cleared. So unfortunately, I don't have all the map data to know exactly where I'm at. I still have GPS. So I'm just stopped for a moment to have a cup of cocoa, which is what I had. And I think this is actually going to be the turnaround spot. The snow has become very soft and is breaking through even with snowshoes. Plus I've been going for about an hour and a half. And I wish I had known that 8 Mile all the way up to this road would have been open. I probably would have come up here yesterday and done my major hike. But it is what it is. I'll just know for future reference. I think part of the reason why that it's open this far up is because just beyond where I parked, there's a bunch of snowmobiles that are parked there as well. After this, I'm going to hike back down, probably go back to Leavenworth for a little bit, rest, because I am still very tired. I'll probably hit up one more German restaurant before I leave. Okay, I made it back to the trailhead, or at least the trailhead because it's the winter season. And these are the snowmobiles that I was talking about that are directly on the road. Normally, this is a road that you can drive on. The snowmobiles that are parked right there, those ones are set up for like a sled ride. I've made it back to Leavenworth, Washington. Now I'm choosing to stay in a hotel rather than camp because at this time of year in this area, the temperatures frequently drop well below freezing at night. Now I'm showing you different views of Leavenworth, Washington, which is modeled after a more traditional Bavarian style city, which is in Germany. Morning. It's the last day of my Washington trip, and really it's just going to be about traveling. Doing the final pack up of my hotel room here in Leavenworth. And then on to the airport pretty much. It's been an amazing trip. It seems like it's been a long trip, but with Washington, long is never enough. If you like the content that I'm creating, I encourage you to hit the subscribe button on my channel. Thanks for watching.